I come from a church background, but yesterday I became a full-fledged sinner. Cue the intro.
Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's a geek.
Alright, man, this movie, y'all know how I do my reviews over here. Sorry I've been away for a minute. I still gotta talk about Daredevil eventually. But y'all know how I do my reviews over here. I'm not just gonna tell y'all if I like the movie or whatever. Obviously, I love the movie, but I want to go in more detail because I see a lot of people aren't really talking about the themes that were spoken on in this movie. Obviously, it's going to be spoilers because I want to talk on some actual touch points. But man, my God, that movie was a cinematic masterpiece. That movie it felt like an event. It's going to be one of those movies where if you didn't go see it, you're going to be missing out. Kind of how like Avengers Endgame and stuff. That's how it was for me. But let's talk about some of the themes in the movie. Because man, it was a lot. Some of the stuff that I saw, and I've only seen it one time. Some of the things that I've seen as far as themes are duality, trust, love, being promiscuous, religion, community, togetherness. It was a lot of stuff in this movie where Ryan Coogler did a great job of putting everything together. So let's start. Obviously, let's go from the beginning to the end, and I'm going to touch on the major stuff. So the first scene we get is Preacher Boy Sammy, who was amazing. The actor who played him was amazing. We're getting this. He's coming back into church. We don't know this at first, but we're seeing him come back from the aftermath of the fight from the vampires the night before. And his dad is kind of getting on him like, hey, the music that's kind of where we get like some of the rules of the movie. Like, hey, this music is for the devil. You can't be doing this music and stuff. But it's something about doing something that you're not supposed to be doing that gives you that oomph. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll imagine that's what it was for him. Not only did he like playing his music and playing his guitar, he liked the taboo part of it. So where it's like, bro, he ain't supposed to be doing that. He's the son of a pastor. He's still gonna do that and dance with the devil. He doesn't really learn his lesson, as we can tell by the post-credit scene. So, but yeah, I thought that was cool. We get introduced to our main protagonist in the movie, Smoke and Stack. Now, a lot of people were saying Smoke and Stack were different, or they didn't like how they weren't too different. And I want to say this. I feel like in real life, twins aren't polar opposites. You know, the only thing that was really different about them was one wore blue and one wore red. But Smoke was definitely like the older brother of the two. At least that's how I felt like in the movie. He was the one where he took everything serious, down to the money, he was very, very structured in what he did. Stack, on the other hand, he seemed like he was a little laid back. He didn't really take a lot of stuff serious, but he was still like mentally challenged. All right, so they both were like insane. But just seeing how they handled two different things. Seeing how, for instance, right, this goes back to the temptation part of it. Stack knows he's not supposed to be messing around with this fair-skinned girl. Now, technically, she wasn't white. She was a little black. She had a little black in her, but she came off as white. And Stack knows it, like, and it was weird too, because they kind of almost grew up together by what they said in the movie. But he was messing with her, and he didn't really take it's like he didn't really take the women serious. Even like how he saw women, even when the rule of he was talking about licking kids. I hope you're not watching this review, but yeah. And then you have Smoke on the other hand, where he was more so on the spiritual side because of his girlfriend or wife or whatever. And his girlfriend had a child. They lost the child, and that was kind of eating on him a lot from this movie. So it was cool seeing both of those people be opposites of each other. So we're going around and we're seeing Smoke and Stack put the pieces together of opening up this juke joint that we later learn is actually a setup from the KKK. All right, it was cool because this comes to another theme: entrepreneurship. We saw two black people in the 1930s going from Chicago back home and trying to build something there. In reality, they had left and escaped to Mississippi because they had stole from some people. But nevertheless, they were still trying to forge their own path and do it while supporting their community. So that was something that I also enjoyed. Seeing how they were articulate and finding the pieces. You gotta have the fish fry. You gotta have the music. It was very, very well put together in what they were doing and how they were going about it. The dude who had the alcohol problem. I'm talking about the alcohol dude right now. Delroy Lindo. I got his name. Delroy Lindo. He was hilarious. Oh my God. Every time he popped up on the screen, he was saying something funny. And especially the scene where he shot himself. My theater laughed, bro. Laughed every time. Because he was just all over the place. So he was a great addition. But yeah, man, this movie was good. Another example of a character that you would seem is kind of surface, like kind of bare on the surface level, had layers beneath himself. We get introduced to him. He's a harmonica player, and we just think he's a drunk. Whole time he drinks like that because he went through some issues. He saw one of his homeboys get hung. They cut off his meat. You know, he was looking at all that. He saw his people. He was arrested one time. Like, it was a lot of stuff for that. So it showed you how people cope in different ways. You know, Smoke, he had lost his child, but he still was trying to get to the money. The dude with the drinking problem, he went through hardship and he went to alcohol. So it was another way of saying, like, yo, different people do things a different way. I also loved how they used music in here. Let's talk about that one scene. We all know the scene we're talking about where they're playing music. He starts the music. Sammy, bro, amazing voice. The aspect ratio pans, and you just seeing generations of black music all over the place. That's another thing I loved about the movie, man. This movie represented blackness, black excellence, black entrepreneurship. It was great, especially in that time. But they also used that time frame for the vampires to say, hey, you know, y'all black and KKK be out here. You sure you don't want to live forever? You know, this will probably wrap up, but you know what I'm saying? So the vampire was the one who told him about the KKK thing. But anyway, it was cool. It was cool seeing that because it was a thing where we didn't see the black people where they're always down on their luck. Our black heroes, they were gangsters. They shot anybody who did something wrong to them. They didn't play no games, and everybody feared them in their community. But at the same time, everybody loved them, and that was great. Then we get the thing with Haley Steinfeld coming in, but with the juke joint. Haley Steinfeld did an amazing job. Oh, before I do that, let's go back to the scene. I'm sorry I'm all over the place. Back to the music scene. We were seeing in that scene where they're showing the generations of music, we were seeing how Sammy was being a door of sorts to other parts of music. Not only just black music, because it was an Asian music performer on that floor as well. But that scene was amazing and it was bold. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when it first started happening, it caught me off guard. Cause I'm like, I'm hearing Sammy sing, I can't do it. And then all of a sudden, I'm hearing like high tempo music. I'm like, bro, what's going on? But I'm seeing like, oh, this is going back to what they were saying in the thing. He's being that door. It was him being that door. Them vampires are starting to come in because he was doing something he had no business doing. And not only that, he was using his voice not for church, but he was using his voice for other things. You know, his voice got some play that night. You feel me? So then we get to the thing where Stack and Smoke, they're falling out on their luck, they're hard on their luck, they're losing money, and they find out, hey, we got 2 months until we out of bread. So they go back to the vampires, they already introduced themselves, and Haley Steinfeld kind of goes out and say, hey, bro, y'all can come in, we can spend this bread. And she's turned into a vampire. So Haley comes back in, and she's used as a thing to be like, especially in this time, white women, were like forbidden fruit, you know, for both sides, mind you, because she was white, had a white husband and everything. She still wanted that black meat. Pause. All right, but even then, with Stack, he wanted that white Heine, you know, Heine. So they both were lusting over each other, and even though Stack saw her drooling, and she was looking very crazy. Maybe he thought she was drooling because she was enjoying herself. But it turned into a thing where lust can be a problem. Too much lust can get you in trouble. You know what I'm saying? People be going out and hooking up with random strangers. The next thing you know, they got an STD. This is kind of the equivalent of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then from that, here comes the trust part, where you got Stack. It's turned Stack. They think he's dead at first. Smoke's wife is like, hey, that might not be a human no more. And Smoke is having to do this battle within himself while saying, yo, this is my brother. But at the same time, he's not here anymore. Me and my brother always been together. I have a younger brother, and me and my brother, we always been together my whole life. So I could watching this, I could kind of understand like where he was going from and how he was feeling. Bro, my brother, if someone mess with my brother, they might have to go. If somebody hurt my little brother, they gotta go, literally. So I was feeling his pain. I was feeling his pain with that. Yeah, man. And then the whole scene with Cornbread, he went to go pee, and they was like, yeah, bro, if you wanted to come in here, you would have came in here. Why you acting so weird? But yeah, it was a lot to unpack with this movie, man. From the Asian lady, having her tantrum with knowing her daughter is out there and her husband turned and her husband is trying to convince her to come out. It was a lot with this movie, a lot to unpack. I can't help but feel great that this movie came out, especially at this time, a time where it just seems like white and black were so divided now. It's just like we're back to almost similar to where we started, like mentally, and especially with the past couple months. I know a lot of us black people, we've kind of been feeling down with how everything's going, especially with our president and stuff. So it was a good movie for us to see, like, we can't actually rise above something that usually tears us down. Especially with the scene where a Smoke is killing all the KKK members. Like I was like, yeah, I couldn't yell too much because my theater was white folks in there and black folks. That's another thing. My theater was packed out. And we were cheering in there. But yeah, so that's really all I gotta say, man. Great performances from all around. Great messages. Great themes. I hope you didn't watch this video before watching the movie. But I really hope that, I know this movie's probably not gonna get a sequel, but dang, I wish we could have more with Smoke and Stack. Like at least get like a prequel or something. That would be cool. But Ryan Coogler, man, you did an amazing job with this movie. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. If you love the video, like the video. If you don't love the video, select the video. I'm on the road to 500 subscribers. I appreciate if you like my content, share my content. Without further ado, I'm out. Peace. Great.